Hey everyone, welcome to the Student Filmmaker podcast. We're building a home on social media for student filmmakers. If you're here on our first ever episode, thank you. I'm super excited to have you. We decided to do this literally 20 days ago. I was sitting at my desk at like a dead-end job and like wishing that I was making a student short film instead. And I realized that like we are such an incredible community, and being able to build something that gives us a voice would be incredibly beneficial to my community, the people that I love around me. And a big part of our community and mine is Meghan Atherton. She is one of the most successful student filmmakers at California State University, Chico, and I'm really excited to have her on as our first ever guest.
I'm
Hi,
really
Meghan.
excited to be here. Hi.
I'm super happy to have you. You actually just got back from Sundance. You're wearing a Sundance
Yes.
t-shirt.
Yes.
Can you tell me, you were dancing in the street for Chasers.
I was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I got the incredible opportunity to go with my mom and her publicist agency as like a assistant publicist for her on Chasers, which is an episodic pilot that got selected for Sundance and Slam Dance. So it'll be playing in LA soon as well, which is super exciting. But it was an incredible experience, and I got to like mold my love for dance in there too, and got to participate in the flash mob, and like it was so much fun.
Oh yeah, you also dance. You're a part of like a dance group on our campus, right?
I am, yeah. I'm in Momentum Dance Club here at Chico State.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're a dancer.
Yes.
You're a director. You're a writer. You're an actress, a professional actress.
Thank you.
And a producer.
Yes.
That's sick.
Thank you.
Speaking of, I actually don't know this about you. How many films have you been a director of?
I want to say, I think it's like 8 now.
8?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
A lot of them were like very low budget, very small productions when I was first starting out. I would say the one I'm working on right now is my 4th like really solid one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've learned so much from each and every one of them that I've done. So it's always been a good experience.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thank
How
you.
long have you been a student filmmaker? Actually, a filmmaker in general.
It was technically since like 2020.
2020?
But I didn't finish my first short film until April of 2021, I believe. So it was like a year after I started kind of looking into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to be like an actress first, or did you want to be?
Yeah.
And now you are.
Yes, it's crazy.
How long did it take you to become a professional actress with an agent?
It was not an easy road at all.
Okay.
I started taking acting classes when I was about 12 years old. I kind of shifted. I kind of shifted back and forth between dance and acting. I always had this like internal battle with myself, which my parents hated, by the way.
Okay.
But I did shift back and forth. So I got into acting when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I auditioned for some like Disney Channel stuff. I got callbacks, but I never like obviously got anything.
Yeah, that's where Ryan Gosling started.
Yes, yeah. But it was always so fun. And I think I finally realized when I graduated high school, like, as much as I love dance, it's not a attainable and long-standing career you can have.
I was thinking about that, dude.
Yeah. So obviously I love it, and I try to incorporate it wherever I can, but I wanted to find something that still had that storytelling aspect and like therapeutic and performance aspect. So I went back to acting class in 2021 and fell in love with it all over again. But I got really fed up with the auditions I was getting and like not getting scripts that I was really invested in.
Yes.
So I decided to write my own and put myself as the lead in it.
Which was that?
And this was The Reception.
The Reception, okay.
Which played at Smash in 2022,
Smash?
I believe. Yeah.
That's the student film. What's the
Student
actual
Student
acronym?
in Media Arts
Showcase.
Yes. Sorry, it's a little.
Student in Media Arts Showcase. That's
Yes.
what we that's the California State University Film Festival.
Yes,
Last
exactly.
year, for Consequences,
Yes.
I was actually managing the judging. I was one of the producers
Oh my
for
gosh, yeah.
Smash. And so I saw that you had won almost everything, like before anyone else did. And I remember going into this and being like, oh, this is so weird. I'm the only one of like 300 people in the audience. I was the only person who knew who had won.
That's probably so like powerful feeling.
It was crazy. Honestly, I kind of wish that I had been surprised by it because I found out like 2 days beforehand.
Yeah.
But I had seen that Consequences, your film that you directed, wrote, and lead acted in.
Yes.
Had won almost all of the awards for Smash, which is incredible. I'm super excited about that.
Insane, yeah.
Didn't you were a part of a film that was an Oscar nomination or something? I don't remember. We were talking about it last year.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think what film I was talking about.
It was like just put up for a really important award. It was like one of the first times I met you at the Digital Filmmakers Guild meeting, which is the film club on our campus.
I know. I don't know why I'm blank. Maybe I was talking about someone else's film. I can't remember now.
I don't know. I don't remember, but that was cool.
Yeah.
And your distribution strategy for your films is to submit to Oscar qualifying film festivals, right?
Yes, I try to. I'm trying to do it more as I continue to grow and make better stuff.
Yes.
Consequences was really the first one that I genuinely submitted to bigger festivals.
Okay.
It didn't go as well as I would have hoped, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if it was just the subject matter and how serious the film is.
Oh, I would have expected the subject matter to be the thing that got it in.
I think it was really hard to program for that reason.
Oh, and how long was it?
It's 9 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the reason that programming is important for your submissions to film festivals is it needs to be able to fit into a program with the rest of the films that are showing.
Yep.
So it needs to make sense. And that's why shorter films that can be funny will sometimes get in. If it's 3 minutes, that's easy to program. It's like a gap in the program that they can fill. So I get that. Can you give a little bit of context about what Consequences was about?
Yes. So it's really heavy. I back in middle school, I was really close friends with a guy that I did orchestra with and hung out with a lot in middle school. And we kind of lost touch of each other in high school, which is totally fine. Mm-hmm. But he ended up having an accident with a fentanyl-laced pill.
Yeah.
And passed away.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, I don't know, extremely hard on me, but in a really complicated way.
Yeah.
My grief was so complicated because I kind of blamed myself for losing touch with him and not making that a priority. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what to do with all of that emotion. And so I started writing Consequences, and the film you actually saw was the third rendition of it.
Oh, wow.
Because every time I've done it, I've ripped it apart. And I'm this is not good enough. This is not, he wouldn't be proud of this. I've been so hard on myself for it. So it's been a rough road. And I'm still kind of hard on myself now because of how it kind of got shut out at festivals. But I mean, obviously you learn from it and you grow, but...
Megan, I didn't even know that was a real person.
Yeah.
I thought that I was inspired or I thought honestly that was a strategic choice.
No.
To take a deeper concept and
Yeah, I mean, it's not his story exactly at all. I wanted to make sure I, kept him and his family's privacy and didn't do his story, if that makes sense, because that's their story to tell. But I wanted to do something that kind of made the point of fentanyl can change everything in a moment, and you just don't even know when it could happen.
Consequences did that. When we saw the story, and it the first time I saw it was when we previewed it for programming for Smash, and I literally thought that you had made it so that you could bring attention to the epidemic of fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I did not even know it was after a real person.
Yeah.
Did you, that was a way to cope with your grief, is to,
totally
do something about it?
Yeah, I mean, I was the lead actress in this too, and a lot of what you see, was shut out grief. I don't know how to explain. I got so into the character that at points within it, I would fall back into myself, which I don't know if that's good, but for example, the opening scene where I'm running up to this house and seeing what happened.
Yeah, with
I was not even in my own headspace during that at all. I was fully in Nora's character. Yeah. But the second that the police officer grabbed me and tried to hold me back, that was all real. It just all kind of came out. And Yeah. But it made me feel better. But it was
Okay.
just kind of like shocking. Like, oh, I'm really not over it as much
Wow.
as I thought I was, because it comes out in different ways. But yeah.
Wow. So filmmaking has been like an incredible outlet for you.
100%,
It's been like
yeah.
the way that you've gotten out
Yeah.
all of your creativity and all of your need for performance and
Definitely.
to entertain people.
Yeah.
When did you know you wanted to be a filmmaker? That was 2020, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a it was a long road, I would say. It was a like weird path that I took. But obviously there was the pandemic,
Yes.
which changed
Yeah.
a lot of things.
You decided to be a filmmaker during the pandemic.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know like how you would do that.
It was, yeah, like I said, it was a weird road, but I basically was watching a ton of movies while
Yeah.
we were
What movies?
locked down. One in particular was Interstellar.
Oh.
And I just got like consumed by it. Like, I don't
Okay.
even know how else to explain it. I was just consumed. I started taking like astronomy classes online because I wanted to learn more about it. And
You were
like
obsessed.
I was like going outside in my backyard and like staring at the stars at night and like talking to the stars, like all
know
this like
Cooper's up
woo-woo
there.
crazy stuff. But it made me realize like if film can have this much impact on me when I'm not involved in it, why wouldn't I just go for it?
Yes.
And like tell stories that I want to tell and that I connect to.
Yeah, being a
So,
filmmaker is sick.
yeah.
Like being able to actually create something like from a vision and to have people want to do it for like with you, that's crazy. Like for free, like we're student filmmakers, often we don't have the budget to pay people.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. What role do you actually want to be? Because you've been a director, you've been a writer, a lead
Yeah.
actress, a producer. What is your like your big goal? Is there a specific career role you want to go into in film or television?
I mean, it's also kind of ambiguous, I would say, at the
Okay.
moment. I really do love producing.
Yes.
And I obviously love acting. I think a big goal for me would just be to have my own production company and be able to kind of continue inserting myself into films as an actress, and also producing films.
Yay.
But I also love like the development side on
Yes.
like the studio side. I love just like, you know, investigating new stories and uplifting stories that need to be told and that
Yes.
kind of thing. So I think I could see myself in that area too.
Studio, not independent.
Yeah.
Studio in
But
television and
specifically
film.
in development, probably.
In development. That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of all up in the air at the moment. Yeah.
We actually made a post about this, but there is a Warner Bros. Discovery internship. You already were an
Yes.
intern last year.
Yeah.
But one of the main like roles that the interns do is they comb through a ton of like the submissions.
Yeah.
And then they like will pitch studio executives on what they think they should do, like
Yeah.
they should actually produce,
Yeah.
which is sick.
I kind of got to do that as a part of my internship, which was really cool.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's where I kind of discovered that I liked development.
At 101 Studios.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that's the studio that does Yellowstone.
Yes, they
And
do.
Mayor of-
A lot of the like Taylor Sheridan stuff.
Okay.
So like Lioness, Yellowstone, Mayor of Kingstown, all of the like Tulsa King, all of
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's actually sick.
Yeah.
So you said studio and development. Is that where you see yourself in 5 years? Like you 5 years from now, what is going to be your life, your day-to-day life? Where are you going to be?
I feel like being like realistic. I want to say that I'll make a short film by then that hopefully gets at least shortlisted on the Oscar list. I think that'd be really cool. I want to produce and act in, they can be different ones, but I want to produce and act in some like bigger network or studio production.
Do you have a comparison? Like something you would want to work in? I'd want to be on something like Pushing Daisies. Do you know Pushing Daisies?
I don't know.
It is an old show. It's about a dude, a kid who has this power to touch someone that's dead
Okay.
and bring them back to life.
Oh, wow.
But if he touches them again, they die forever. But it's like, it's incredible. It's like
Yeah.
so fantastical, and like the color is incredible and the set design is incredible.
That's so cool.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Continue. What is your comparison? What is something you would want to work on?
Oh my God, there's so much.
Oh, you were like obsessed. We were shooting All in Your Head, and
Yes.
you were like showing that one Damien Chazelle film.
Yes,
What
I
was
think
that
it was
called?
Babylon.
Babylon, yeah.
I'm a Babylon apologist for life. I know so many people have like bad
3 hours
opinions
long.
of it. I would love to work with Damien Chazelle.
Yeah.
I think that'd be insane.
You were just at Sundance. Whiplash
yes.
previewed twice
Yes.
at Sundance. The
Yeah.
same film.
Yeah.
That is like my dream, is to make like shoot 10. Like, do you know that scene, the original short, was shot for $10,000?
Yes.
And it was
Yeah.
5,000 of that was
I
from
actually,
Jason Blum.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh
right
my
now,
God!
but,
Don't.
One of my really close friends that I met at the film festival I interned for, like 3 years ago, I want to say.
Cordillera?
He was, he was the cinematographer on the short film Whiplash.
Oh my gosh.
And we like talk all the time. He's amazing. Ed Lucas, if you're watching this, I don't know if you are, but he's amazing. So talented. I look up to him so much. But yeah, it's crazy just like the connections I've made in just like Reno at this amazing film festival.
It's like a big world, and a lot of people want to be in it, but it's so easy to like find people that have been on big stuff.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, you see yourself.
Oh, sorry. I don't even think I finished it. But yeah, like I really want to at least be shortlisted for something that I've worked on. Maybe work or act on a bigger network show or studio production. And yeah, I guess just I want to be a SAG-AFTRA member. That's another thing for me.
Aren't you literally one film away from being SAG?
Yes.
That's sick.
Pretty much. Their rules are like really like ambiguous and weird, but like I would basically have to work 2 days as a background actor on a film or 1 day with a speaking part, and I would get it. So I'm pretty close, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm honestly hoping for within the next year. That's kind of what I'm like putting my sights on for the next year. Because I'll be out of college too. So like
you will, dude.
Working non-union and like working on student films won't really be as much of a issue anymore if I am in SAG.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like my main goal for this year, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and for those who don't know, SAG-AFTRA is the Screen Actors Guild of Screen Actors. I don't remember the AFTRA
It's
part.
the Screen Actors Guild and American Radio and Television Federation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is SAG-AFTRA. That's when you get like unionized and you get like a minimum level that people have to pay you to be SAG.
Yeah.
So you're like a part of like the union. How many films have you directed? You said 8.
Yes.
What was your favorite film to direct?
Ooh, that's...
Wait, have you written all of the films you've directed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I honestly want to say Consequences. I know that's like the newest one, but it was just like, I don't know. I literally had the best crew that I've ever worked with. Like all of those people are so talented. I'm inspired by each and every one of them. And just the fact that they put in so much work for me when I was kind of like the newcomer compared to all of them was like, I don't know, so empowering for me. And like, I think that is like propelled me into wanting to do more is their like constant encouragement and support. Like they still text me all the time or like check in on me. And it's just, I don't know, like I feel like I genuinely made like lifelong friendships and connections on that set, while also being able to share like my side of the story and the grief that I went through, and people just, you know, really trying to understand me and connect with me on that. Like, I don't know, it was just so special. And to just be able to honor my friend as well. Like I don't feel guilty anymore because I did that short, like, I don't know. I think it just took all of the guilt out of the equation, and I kind of realized like, this is not my fault. Like, it's not my fault that we lost, you know, touch. Like, life happens. Like, you have to move on. Like, I mean, at least I did get to know him so well, and I did get to spend time with him, which I think I've realized is more special than anything else. Yeah.
It's incredible that you did something to try to help the problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Something a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest... So you're a producer.
Yes.
Producers are made to put out fires. Like that is our biggest job. That is what we do. I'm also a producer, in case you didn't know. But what is the biggest fire that you have put out for one of your sets?
Ooh. Honestly, this one's kind of a funny one. And this also happened on Consequences, but we coordinated with this theater and like had like our whole schedule planned out for filming inside this theater.
Yes.
Because they had this like super beautiful, like skylit, like public bathroom.
Yeah.
And we were trying to do this like super emotional bathroom scene. And so we wanted like a really long, like stalled bathroom so that there was like depth and like the frame just looked really good. And that's what they had. So we had been coordinating with them for months to like film there. And then we show up on like our call time and they're rehearsing a musical on stage.
Ooh,
And like
that's not gonna be done
stomping
soon.
and like singing, screaming, like all of these things. And I'm like, we can't film here. Like this isn't gonna work. Like we're gonna be crying in this bathroom, like having
you
this
hear, like,
super dramatic scene while they're like singing Annie on stage. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we literally all just left and had to pivot. And I basically overnight found a new place. I was like calling people, posting on Facebook, like
That's good.
literally trying anything, but it worked out. But
Good. Yeah. It always seems to work out, even though it's like super stressful in the moment.
Yeah.
There was one time on the first time I was ever a producer, which was 11 months ago.
Yeah.
I was on Maestros, which is Danny Chamel's film.
yeah.
And Danny asked me like the night before to organize 15 extras. And this was like at our end of our first shooting day. So I had been working for like 11 hours and it was like 11 at night. And I was like, how am I going to get 15 extras to be here at 9 a.m. tomorrow?
Yep.
Like I have 10 hours and I ended up doing it. A bunch of people, it's crazy how many people will show up for you when you're working on a film.
Yeah.
Like film is one of the coolest. I think it's the coolest because it's my preference. I'm biased.
Totally.
But working on films is the coolest job in the world. Like imagine if we got paid to do this. Like paid enough to actually do this full time. Like working filmmakers.
Getting to the point too where you do get paid or you do get travel covered. It's like such a like relief. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's so fun because you're getting to do what you love, but you're not worrying about like the logistic of things or like, making a paycheck or something. Like it's just, I don't know. It's really rewarding getting to that point where you finally like do get paid.
Yes.
So it's exciting.
So that brings me into my next point. You are a professional actress. You actually get paid to act. This is your senior year of university. You don't even have your bachelor's degree yet.
Yeah.
But you are a professional actress with an agent, with representation, and you make enough money to actually pay your bills every month being an actress, right?
Yep.
That is such an incredible success, dude. High five.
you.
Like that is actually so
Thank
freaking
you.
cool. That's another thing. Like not a lot of student filmmakers have thought a lot about being a working filmmaker, being a working actress and what that actually means, or being a working writer.
Totally.
We're so passionate and we want to make things that we really care about. But like at the end, sometimes this is like just a job. Like you just have to work.
Yeah.
And being a working filmmaker is different than being just like a filmmaker who just like doesn't make any money and makes stuff that not a lot of people see necessarily. But you are a working actress and that is such an incredible thing. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it really is incredible.
Yeah. What has it been like? Like
Oh
that
my
transition
gosh.
into like being a professional, like when you're still in college too.
Yeah, it's
Like you were just at Sundance. You missed the first week of school. What were you doing? How did you miss that?
Sometimes I ask myself the same question. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I've had so many conversations with my dad too, where he's like, Megan, like, you're going to graduate, right? Like, he's like, you're not going to drop out and run to LA. And I'm like, I promise I'm not.
I have joked about that so much. The moment I get an offer, if I get an internship and they offer me a job, I'm leaving. I'm dropping out of my finance bachelor's degree.
I know, it's so funny because he used to be like, I don't know, too. I would always audition for like random, like big things, just trying to see what happens.
What was the biggest thing?
One time I sent in one self-tape. I didn't get a call back, but I sent in one self-tape for Euphoria.
Oh my God. I could totally see you on Euphoria, bro.
Thanks.
Now that you say that, yeah. Oh, and they're filming season 2. Anyways, continue.
But yeah, so I did that, and I just remember I came back to college, and my dad was like, what happens if you get a call from Euphoria?
Yeah, what
like,
are you
you going to
gonna do?
drop out? I'm like,
I'll just work on set.
I'm not going to get a call from Euphoria, Dad. Like, calm down.
And then you do, and then it's like,
Yeah, that would be insane.
Zendaya would be so mad. I can't say no. I can just get like a tutor.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They do that for kids. I don't know. I mean, the last time I never hear stories about what it's like to be an actress now or to be an actor now.
Yeah.
Like, what are young people like us doing? Which is exactly why I wanted to make the podcast.
Yeah.
We never find people like us unless it's in person. But there are millions of us all across the world. Like, every story I hear is like, in the 80s, we had to have this one person on set with me to be my tutor. Like, for Harry Potter.
Yes.
They had tutors on set. But what do they do now? Is it the same thing now? I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, they there's people that work as studio teachers. I can't speak. Sorry. Teachers. Yeah, and they are basically hired to be like an on-set coach and instructor for kids.
That's so cool.
I've had one on set with me a couple of times when I was under 18.
Yeah.
Those were only like one day set days, like
and
extra things, but yeah, they still had a teacher, and they would just come and like check in with you, make sure you weren't missing anything at school that day, or like it's super nice. But
plus one for the industry, taking care of kids.
Yeah,
you don't releasing hear good stuff like that. I'm glad that we can bring attention to that.
Yes,
the industry's doing a good thing.
Okay,
I want to talk about your newest film.
Yes.
You are releasing Rip Her to Pieces. You're currently in pre-production or development?
Pre-production.
Okay, you're in pre-production for Rip Her to Pieces. Tell me everything about Rip Her to Pieces.
Yes.
I'm excited to see your newest film.
So this one is it's a doozy. It's a ambitious ambitious project, but I wanted to challenge myself to do something that nobody's ever really seen before from a student, especially. Yeah. So it's a coming of age disaster film that has some like thriller aspects, I would say. But it really explores how grief can get in between friendships.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot of grief in my life, unfortunately, and so have a lot of people around me. And I think something that I've realized, at least for myself in my friendships, is just how much grieving, whether you're both grieving or it's one person in the relationship, it really changes things. Like it really changes your relationship and how you interact with each other, especially if they're in like the thick of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something that explored that, but also kind of explored like what happens when you push grief away and then it comes back to kind of bite you in the butt. So the lead character, Alice, is struggling with coming back to her hometown after graduating college. She lost her parents in an accident before she left for college, and she's trying to just like, you know, reconnect with her friends, come back home, like, you know, get her adult life started, but this grief comes back to haunt her.
Okay.
And it basically ends up like metastasizing in a tornado. And like literally coming to rip her to pieces, basically. So yeah.
That's actually sick. That's actually really deep as a writer. Like I have never
very complex. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've
never
really
read your
hard.
scripts. I've never like known you to be like a writer just because we haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
But that is impressive.
Thank you.
Even the idea of having something metastasize or develop into a storm.
Yeah.
Like, is it a hurricane?
It's a tornado.
It's a tornado.
Okay. I've always been like, one of my like weird childhood obsessions was tornadoes and like researching like big, like huge disasters that have happened with tornadoes. That sounds
You've
so
had
bad,
the weirdest,
but
like...
I used to be obsessed with like space, like natural disasters, like all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've always had like a fascination with it. And there was always like one storm in particular that I had a huge fascination with. And that's the Xenia, Ohio, 1974 outbreak, where there was an F5 tornado that just like completely leveled this town.
Okay.
So it's based on that.
That was her grief.
It takes place in 1974 Ohio, and it basically kind of follows the same kind of timeline as the actual storm, obviously with fake characters and stuff, but it does kind of honor that actual natural disaster that happened too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I thought Rip Her to Pieces, I thought that your choice of choosing like deep topics, like an actual disaster that actually happened, and like the fentanyl epidemic, like I thought that those were distribution strategies. Like
Really?
you were choosing, I thought you were choosing like heavy topics that people would want to fund or want to distribute because they're a meaningful contribution to that community.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's like, it's just your very interesting hobbies.
Thank you. Yeah, it's weird because I would say it is a little bit of both. Like I definitely think about how something could be distributed while I'm writing it.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's definitely
Not
part
a
of
lot
it.
of student filmmakers think about that.
Yeah.
Do you know about distribution?
I know a little bit. I definitely would like to know more.
Yeah.
But I have been around film festivals so much that it's always kind of been on the top of people's minds and like something that they talk about. But yeah, I mean, I would like to know a lot more, but I do kind of know like what programmers and distributors look for, which I think is helpful when I'm writing because I kind of know how to approach things in a way that would be attractive for those people.
To a distributor, someone to actually sell your work.
Yeah.
Would you be open to selling your screenplay if someone offered it?
That's a hard topic for me.
Yeah, that's okay.
I feel like it would depend on the story.
Yeah.
If it was something like the Consequences feature script that I'm writing or something, I probably would not be able to sell that.
Yeah.
I'd want to do it myself. But I could see maybe in the future, like doing some writing or trying to get writing distributed. It's hard for me because when I write something, it kind of like turns into my baby. Like I'm like, I don't want other people to have like creative control over it. So
yeah, totally, dude.
We'll see. But yeah.
That's a big thing that I think a lot of student filmmakers struggle with is like the reason we get into this is because we're so passionate about our stories. When you're a writer, you're like sitting with those characters, like loving them and putting yourself into them. And I'm not a writer. I'm not creative at all. But even I have worked with so many writers where it's like, dude, you are in love with this.
Yeah.
You are not a working writer. This is not a working script. This is like your baby. That's much different.
Yeah.
So do you want to be a writer?
I really love writing.
Yeah.
I think it's very therapeutic. So I probably will do it for like the rest of my life. I don't know if I would be like primarily a writer. I think I'm always going to write and direct my own stuff.
There you go.
I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not like my main thing, I would say. It's kind of more of just like a journaling or like dance kind of therapeutic thing for me. Yeah. What
is your main thing? Like, what is the role in film that attracts you to it the most right now?
Honestly, producing.
Why?
I love directing. I love a ton of stuff. But I think for me, with all of the experience I do have with different types of like events in the film industry, like film festivals, development, directing, like all of that stuff and all of the connections I have. I've always been kind of a control freak. So I think it's fun to, kind of be in charge of things. And be able to like, reach out to your connections to build crews and stuff like that.
I get that. That's why I'm a producer too. I don't really care about the control side as much. I do care about being able to pay people, support people, be on budget and be on time.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Like I've always just been like a super empathetic person. So I don't know. I always feel the need to like be there for people and be like a main support system. So just being able to like lead a crew and like have people feel like they're welcome to come to me with anything, I think is really special for me and makes me feel really fulfilled. So I think that's like the main thing with producing, but I think just in general it's fun to like have that control and be invested in every process of filmmaking too.
I want to be there from start to finish. Like I would genuinely dislike if I cared about a project to only be on production. Yeah. Because production is a tiny little part of the overall process. Yeah. I want to be there for development. I want to be there for pre-production. Yeah. I want to be the person that like meets in the coffee shop with the director and is like, what do you want? And how can I make this happen? And oh, you want a car stunt? Yeah. I know a stunt guy who can do that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think it's just so fulfilling.
Yeah.
Have you? Because then it's like your baby too. Like you did every part of that and you get to be proud of every single aspect of it, which I think is so special too.
What's your favorite part of the process? Do you like post-production the most or like development? You said you like development a lot, but
all of it. I absolutely love being on set. I think it's so fun. But I think getting to see everything come together in post is honestly probably the most special part. Just seeing all the hard work like come to fruition and like seeing it all work together is just like so rewarding.
Yeah. We were so the house that we're in right now is Dustin Vought's house.
Yeah.
He's the producer of The Fuzzies, which is a feature film that's like a horror stop motion animation film that was shot here. Actually, one of their sets is downstairs.
Oh, funny.
I can actually show you that after this. But Dustin Vaught was a producer on it and the lead actor. And they would we shot for like 24 days in the summer. And every day, it was my first time ever seeing dailies. And every day at the end of the day, we would have been so tired, but like the director and our producer and like a bunch of people would go into the back room and watch the dailies with our editor. And that was such a cool experience. Seeing what we actually made was crazy. That's the same kind of vibe that you get when you get to see that. Okay, cool.
I think just in general, like, this whole career is so rewarding.
Oh my gosh. You want to be a producer. That means you're likely going to make connections with actors and actresses.
Yes.
What is the like actor or actress that you would want to work with like the most? Like what would change your life? For me, it's Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
If I could work with Ryan Gosling, I would be so excited. He's such an incredible actor. Did you see The Believer?
I have not.
The Believer is one of his first I've seen all of the movies because I love his acting style. But The Believer is like, it's about a Jewish person who is a white supremacist. And it's like really deep and really cool. And his performance was incredible. Anyways, who's the actor or actress that you would want to work with?
I feel like in terms of an actor, probably Matthew McConaughey. Which I talked about Interstellar earlier, but I think he's so talented and like so versatile and just, I don't know, a really good person to be around, it seems like. Also Dylan O'Brien, I've always loved him.
You met him at Sundance.
I waved to him. I wish I got to talk to him, but we did have a little wave. But in terms of
you looking and he's hi.
He's like, I'm scared. Who's this girl that's staring at me?
Dylan,
but in terms of women, there's so many. I feel like definitely Zendaya. I've always looked up to her as an actress.
She's just such a down-to-earth person.
Yes.
I've never met Zendaya, but in her interviews, she's very down-to-earth.
very, very much so.
Have you met Zendaya?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wish. And also Rose Byrne, who I did just meet at Sundance. I don't know, she's just such a sweet person and she's really talented. And I feel like, I don't know, I see her in like horror a lot, but I would love like the chance to put her in like a drama or like a different genre. I think it'd be really cool to see her versatility. But I did get to meet her at I literally walked straight into her. Like I was walking into a hotel and I like walked right into the door and she was standing there.
Like, oh, you're Rose Byrne.
And I was like, oh, hi. Like I could not say anything. So I just said hi and we had like a little conversation. She like complimented me on my jacket and like it was so funny. But
that's sick. If Ryan Gosling ever complimented me on my jacket, I would probably I don't even know how I would react. I'm not really like someone who is a fangirl. Like when I say I'm interested in like learning about someone, it's genuinely because like Ryan Gosling seems like a deep human being that has this incredible range and is able to like develop into characters. That's incredible. And he's had such an incredible career.
Totally.
It's not like I'm fangirling or like I'm attracted to this person, but I really love the performances that he's given and how cool of a person he can be.
I know it's weird. I'm not really someone who gets starstruck either. I think that's kind of because of like working at a film festival and stuff. But I don't know. There are a couple people I would probably freak out a little bit about. But
Saoirse Ronan has had an incredible career, and just getting to see how she holds herself and how confident she is. That's something that I really look up to, just person to person. Totally. I'm not an actress. I won't be an actress. I would love to cameo. Cameoing, I would love to cameo. And I think I've cameoed in every film I've ever produced. And I would like to continue that.
Yes.
Because it's so fun.
No, that's so fun.
It's so fun. Just being in the background, like a total background character that does nothing. If I have like a funny thing, I drop something. Oh, this in The Tunnels Beneath, which won Best Film at the Smash Film Festival last year. I was one of the hands that was, I was one of the hands
Okay.
that was pulling
Yes.
Tanner through the dirt. And I was also one of the bow people. I was in like the opening shot with a bow in my hair, and I was like, yes, that is so cool. And then my brother was in Slasher Pro. Like whenever you get to bring people into these things, it's so cool.
My 12-year-old brother was a PA on Consequences.
Oh, yay.
And it was so fun.
What's your brother's name?
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. My brother's name is Caden.
Okay.
He was the lumberjack in Slasher Pro.
Oh.
He swung around. This is dangerous. Don't do this. Don't do this. But he swung around a chainsaw because he looks like this. It doesn't look like it doesn't make sense, but he's a redhead with a huge beard.
Okay.
And he looks like a lumberjack, and he actually splits wood because like we do that in our house. And he was wearing a flannel, and he looked like a lumberjack, and he was swinging around a chainsaw, and it was really cool.
That's crazy.
So I have the same thing. Like I love bringing the people I love onto set.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, which film has inspired you the most of all films that you've ever seen ever?
I probably have to say Interstellar again. I keep talking about it, but it really did just like change my perspective on like everything and like how small we are in comparison to like the whole universe. Another one is Life of Pi.
Dude, the color grading. I just remember the color.
Yes, for sure. But also just, I don't know, like the whole concept of the story being told with animals when it was really people, and he was kind of like shutting that part of it out.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind.
And just like the whole
You just blew my
theming
mind.
too. Like the whole fact of like, you know, he says like the whole the whole of life is an act of letting go. But what hurts the most is not taking a moment to say goodbye. Like all of those kinds of statements I think are just so relatable and like made me feel really seen as like an audience member.
Yeah.
So I've always loved Life of Pi too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really sweet. Are you a film buff? You work in film buff. Are you a film buff?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I would say so.
Okay. I am not a film buff. I have watched like almost every film. I swear, like everything. I just watch it. I watch while I work, and I work a lot, so I just like watch a lot of films.
Yeah.
But I've never been like I watched this noir, like Citizen of Kane, like, you know, like the old stuff that everyone like talks about, and you have to see those. Or like I never knew what the directors' names were.
Yeah.
I just learned about Damien Chazelle's career.
Okay.
He like graduated from Harvard.
Yes.
I did not know that until I researched it and actually like listened to interviews with him. Damien, if you need a producer.
Me too.
You can ask Megan. Yeah, that wasn't a plug for me. That was for Megan.
I'm like, I know Ed.
Yeah, she already knows Ed. So Megan, what are the other projects that you're working on right now?
So I'm in my senior capstone class right now. Yes. So we have to do a project for that. That's kind of outside everything else that we're already doing.
Which is a lot for you.
Yes.
You're a professional actress. You're producing, writing, directing, and lead acting in your own film that's going to go on Oscar circuits.
Yes.
Oscar Film Festival circuits.
Yes.
And then what else do you do?
So it's a little bit stressful because there is a ton going on already.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a like 7-minute short film for my capstone.
Yeah.
And it's also really heavy, but it again kind of revolves around my own experience or kind of like my fears when it comes to my future with chronic illness. I'm getting investigated for endometriosis right now, which I'll kind of explain a little bit what it is, but it's basically a women's chronic health issue where lining similar to the lining that lines your uterus grows outside of your uterus on like other organs. So when you're in your menstrual cycle, it still like gets inflamed and tries to like catch an egg, but there's obviously no egg because it's outside of your uterus.
Yeah.
So when it gets angry and tries to shed from your body, you're just like internally bleeding. Like there's nowhere for it to go. So then you create scar tissue and it's just like really painful and it can cause infertility. So I'm at the point right now where I'm getting booked for laparoscopic surgery to figure out for sure if I do have it and kind of what the extent of the damage is. But I had this idea for kind of showing like worst case scenario. Because I feel like there's a lot of conversation right now about women's health and like abortion and things like that. But there's not a lot of light shed on the actual health issues that can lead you to that point.
Yes.
So for my capstone film, I'm doing a film that like follows a young fiance. Her and her soon-to-be husband are like really just looking forward to starting a family. Like that's like their main goal. Like they're so excited for that. And she is in immense pain, goes in for an exploratory surgery, and they tell her that basically all of her pelvic organs have fused themselves together because of the endometriosis. So she has to go home and decide with her fiance if she deals with the pain continuously and tries to start a family, or if she does what's best for her body and just gets a hysterectomy.
Yes.
And moves on. So it's really heavy, but I think it's a story that needs to be told, and I'm excited about it. I already have actors attached that I've worked with before that I love and are so talented, and I know they'll do an amazing job telling the story. And for once, I'm actually stepping out of this one completely.
You're just going to direct?
I'll just be directing by myself.
I'm excited to see you direct performances because you already have that background as an actress. I think that you could be incredibly strong bringing performances from actors.
I'm really excited to have that opportunity to kind of step back and just focus on the one thing.
God, I want to see you do that.
Yeah.
I want to see you bring out performances and actors.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm really excited. And it was crazy too, because when I was at Sundance, I went to this like panel, like party discussion thing called Bands Off Our Stories. And it was basically a panel full of like women that are pioneering conversations about women's health, abortion, like all of those kinds of things. And I got to meet Nazrin, who is the writer, director, producer of Red, White, and Blue, which is an Academy-nominated short film from last year. And I had like a 30-minute conversation with her. Like she was so open, so willing to have a conversation with me. And I told her about my concept, and she was like, "You're writing this." Like she was like, "This is a story that needs to be told." She was like, "Do not give up." She was like, "Tell it the way you want to tell it." She was like, "I want to see it. Like you're going to do it." And I was like, if that's not the most empowering thing to hear from someone ever, I don't know what is. Dude. So I feel super empowered after that. And I already have a first draft of the script. So I'm super excited.
You are writing. You are so busy. It's crazy, like the amount of stuff that you're doing. I can relate to that very much, as you know, but I digress. Yeah. That is really cool. I'm excited for you. So you're doing that on top of your other projects.
Yes.
How are you going to shoot that before the end of the semester with Ripper to Pieces?
So basically this short for the capstone is very minimal. Like there's like, it's basically one location, but there's like little flashbacks that are in like one other location. Yeah. But it'll be doable in a day. So we're just doing it in one day. At like the end of March.
And it's only 7 minutes. Okay. So it's more doable.
Yeah. So I'm basically just doing a ton of Rip Her to Pieces stuff around it. That's why I kind of cranked out the script and like the pitch deck and everything for the capstone project before I even dove back into pre-production for Rip Her to Pieces so that they were kind of separate. But yeah, so they're kind of whole separate entities in my brain, and it's really well scheduled out right now. Like I'm working with my co-director on Rip Her to Pieces to
Aiden Rice.
Yes.
Aiden Rice?
Yes. I love Aiden. But I'm working with her to like get like a rehearsal schedule flushed out and like all of that like logistical stuff. So we're on like a strict schedule, and I think that helps too because I already kind of have dates in my mind for when things need to be done or things need to be ready. And that helps me. Like I work good under pressure. So if I have like a set time when something needs to be done, it'll get done by then.
Nice.
So
that sounds
I'm
like
not
a producer.
too worried about it, but it is a little bit stressful trying to do both at the same time.
Well, you're doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
The stuff that you've created already is incredible.
Thank you.
I think that like just talking to you, being around you, seeing all of the experiences that you've had, and seeing your final products of your work, not just like me liking you as a person. Like I've actually seen your work, your dedication. I now know the extent to which you work. And I genuinely think that you're set up for an incredible career in the film industry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have been in so many different facets of the roles on a film set, and that's really what makes someone stand out as an incredible producer, because we often have to understand what our crew is going through in order to make better decisions to get the film done. Yeah. And you already gotten that experience being a director, being an actress, being a writer, being a producer. You have gotten so many roles, so much experience behind you, and I'm really excited to see what your career is like, even a year from now.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask you, could you please look into that camera and leave a message for yourself 5 years from now? So 5 years from now, you're going to be somewhere doing something. Yeah. And I want you to be able to look back on this and to see what you thought.
Yeah.
What would
I guess
you tell
I
yourself?
just want to say, like, I hope you continue to inspire yourself and learn from things and continue to want to learn and grow. I know sometimes people get burnt out or kind of get turned away from things for certain reasons, but I just hope that I continue knowing that I am talented and I am worth it. And no matter what's going on, like, push through, because film is important and getting to share these stories is important, and never let that go.
Oh, so sweet. Dude.
Thanks.
Oh, Megan, it's been so awesome having you. I'm really happy that I got to like learn more about you.
Yeah, it's been so amazing getting to talk to you.
It's cool seeing how important it is to just have a discussion and be able to share that discussion with other people, because I don't think anyone would have gotten to know like how genuinely deep and interesting you are if they hadn't been able to see an hour-long conversation of you getting to talk about what inspires you. So I'm really happy that we were able to do this. And I'm really happy that I got to learn more about you.
Yes. And thank you for having me. It's been so amazing to, I don't know, get to open up about this stuff. Yeah. I don't feel like I do it enough. So thank you. It means a lot.
I got you, dude. I'm really honored to have you as our first guest. Thank you.
I'm honored. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Megan, at the end of our episodes, we always say thank you to Dustin and Anna. They're the people who let us film at the Enloe Mansion, which is where we are right now.
Yes.
Dustin Vaught is a producer, and Anna Alexander is a historian and professor at our university.
So cool.
So we're going to say thank you on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Anna. Hi, I'm Meghan Atherton, and I'm a student filmmaker.